So up here on the top right side of Oxide Alley, in this first game of this best of 5 series for Brawler Club number 10, this man needs no introduction. He's one of the best Terrans in the world. Playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Cure. And down here on the bottom left side of the map, looking to be very strong at the moment. Let's see how his TVP goes. It is playing for Alpha X, a classic. Alright then, so a little bit of a change up from the ZVP. Copies Classics build to use against Jeddrix. Honestly, that looked like a really good, flexible, safe, mid-game to late game. I think the Adept one was a little bit different, obviously, but I mean, the building blocks were very similar. He just added the Twilight Council in, and because he transitioned to, I think, Charge in the previous 2 games, and then Glaive Adepts in the last one. So I feel like the builds are very similar in a lot of ways. Yeah, it is interesting because, like, you're still macroing. Your economy's massive as well, but you're committing to these timing attacks and catching Zerg opponent off guard. So, so we go then. We do see the Marine first here for Cure. Cybercore now going down, Nexus, all very standard stuff. Again, a very standard game. Like I need to change the name of my title of my stream to be like the most standard series you'll ever see. Saying that, we do have the reactor going down. I want to see whether if the factory is going to go down as well. It's a quick reactor, right? I mean, there's only 1 unit. Reactor's going to just reactor out Marines, I assume. That's going to be 3 racks. Yeah, I did wonder what was going on there. Alright, cool. So Cure going to go for the 3 racks here. And I like it. A lot of people say that the 3 racks is like an introductory build order for ZVP. Sorry, TVP. But I see so many pros going for it at the moment. Or like pushing out with Marauders mixed into it as well. Like not just pure Marine. And like there was this it's the last Epic LAN actually. I'm bringing I've casted quite a lot since then, like quite a lot of TVPs, but the last Epic LAN was really interesting because in the series versus like Molten and Gerald, Euthermal basically went for 3 racks all the time. Or like massive 2 base pushes all the time. 3 racks was just so common. He just always win. He just push out, win, push out, win. And that was all that Euthermal had to do in that series. And I feel like pros are using this 3x a lot intermittently within their build orders, and it does so much. And why not? Because it's very similar to that 2-on-1 opener where you get the bread and butter, like you get your stim, you get your combat shield. If you want to add +1 in there, then fine, go with it. But you know, you get transition ability, even though you haven't gone for like the factory and starport. It still gives you like a good firm basis to play from. You see a 3rd base going down as well. Blink is going to be research here for Classic. Very standard the TVP stuff, really. Oh yeah, so more orders are going to get added on here as well. And Stim is just about to finish up. The Adepts are continuously checking to see what's happening in the base of Cure at the moment. He is going to see the push out as the research just finishes up on that Stim. Looks like he's grouping up a little bit. Yeah, he waits for those 2 more orders to join as well. Not stimming quite yet. Now we blink up. These Stalkers are able to kite. There's so little DPS on these Stalkers right now. He does get in here, and he is pushing forward. Now he decides to stim. He's going to jump in. He's going to run past all the shield batteries and just get straight into the natural. I think that's an amazing decision, actually. And now there's a little bit of a choke point on Classic's army. He's going to engage on the ramp there. Yeah, a little bit of damage done, but I don't actually think overall that is really good for Cure. Let's have a look. Yeah, a lot more units lost for Cure there. He doesn't have a third base on the way either. Huh. Okay. Well, I say that pros do a lot with that 3 racks push, but at the moment it's not looking too hopeful. We do see the transition now happening. We do have the factory and the starport added on to this army. But again, you can't really push up against this. I mean, there's a bunker up here, and there's so much bio as well up in the main base. Bio staying up here to protect against any blink as well. Charge being researched here. Colossus on the way. We're going to see that double splash damage coming up very shortly. And we do see quite a lot of gateways on the way for Classic. Classic's in a really good spot here. Like, there's quite a lot of economy up and running for him at the moment. But, you know, the army's just now growing. And like the upgrades are now a bit ahead here for Cure. I feel like trading potential is looking very good for him at the moment. Oh, there's going to be a bit of a flank as well. Oh, he cuts off. Oh, he has to get the recall. Actually, 3, 4. Oh, 4 Stalkers going down in total there. Only saving 2, and that's actually quite a lot of damage done. Very well handled by Cure there. This is looking like a very scary push out now for Cure. He's been producing so much on those Raxes all this time, and now we've got like, oh, how many? We've got like 8 Marauders, massive amounts of Marines, and against what? We do have a Colossus here. We do also have 2 shield batteries. He's going to jump up and go into the main base of this double drop. And now the Colossus is going to move up to try and actually deal with that, but there is still quite a lot of bio over on the north side. A lot of probes going to go down. And he is now going to send out the main attack. It looks like that's pretty much cleared up, but now the main force is now going to push forward. Trade out with the Zealots. So he has done quite a lot of economy damage at the moment. He's going to push up into the natural. He's going to try and take out the Colossus as well. Oh no, real bad for Classic there. That Colossus was like essential. Now the second one on the way. And I feel like if there were 2 Colossi here, he would be in a pretty good position. But now without that, it's looking a bit scary actually. Oh, he's going to take out that one as well. Whoa. Look at the control on this guy. Cure absolutely storming this. Classic now down to 78 supply. Not a lot of army either. He's going to push forward. Widowmines are now joined. Yeah, now we're just pushing into the 3rd base, and that's just not a lot here for Classic at all now. Now that those Colossi have now been killed. What can he really do? Classic calls G, and that's going to be your 1-0 going to Cure there. Alright, so I think we need to look at the Terran base a little bit more during this series. It looks like I think Cure is going to be the one that's going to dictate the pace of play. It's been quite a bit of that recently, where it's been Protoss normally opening with a Stalker base play, and then adapting build orders based off what the Terran does. And I've also noticed a lot less more all-ins recently for Protoss versus Terrans. Only in my own personal casts. It looks like the Terran is the one that wants to actually close out the game. And that's been very normal versus Protoss generally, but a lot more recently. Protoss used to have quite a lot of pushing power, and now I feel like they're a bit more of the defensive one in this matchup. And I might be wrong, I don't really play it too much. Based on what I see, it's usually Terrans pushing into like the natural or the main base or something like that to try and close out games. So we're actually going to see the Reaper coming out here for Cure. Very different from last game, because last game we had the Marine first into Reactor, so I don't think it's going to be 3 racks. The Reaper will come in here, going to get intercepted by the Stalker, but he's going to confirm that there is a natural on the way. Bunker is now coming down here for Cure. It's looking very normal. Oh, there is going to be 3 racks. Okay. So you can add a 3 racks from a Reaper. That's very normal, apparently. It's just interesting how he skipped it last time. He went straight for a Reactor, but this time he's actually gone for the Reaper. Twilight Council getting built as well. I imagine we're just going to go into a very normal game. 3 racks versus Blink Stalker again. All right. So whilst we wait for this, we're just going to talk about something unrelated to the game. I was saying, I was complaining earlier about the map pools not updating, and I think the whole of the StarCraft community is a little bit upset about that, and especially from like my point of view, like obviously I play a lot of StarCraft and I also cast a lot of StarCraft, and a lot of the casting enjoyment comes from like the map. Like, when you play, it's just a lot of the time you just play and you just kind of, you don't really think about the map too much, but when you cast and when you watch StarCraft, you're always constantly thinking about terrain and what the matchup means and how the players interact with the map, because that is a lot of the enjoyment out of StarCraft, and I feel like we have been deprived of that recently. Trap versus Cestus is looking insane at the moment. I'm gonna check into that after I'm done here. Although that is a PvP, right? Although PvP I do think is one of the best matchups, so. And why would you watch that when you can watch just a regular 3 racks push into a Protoss base? Actually, the Stalkers are going to miss this push. I think they have now clocked on that something is going on over here, because Classic is now moving his units up towards it. So let's have a look at his vision. Oh, he has actually missed completely that there's 3 racks is being pushed down. He's going to go up to the main base there. Oh, he's going to snipe out a lot of that tech. And the Twilight Council is going to go down. And the Cyber Core. Wow, look at that. The Reaper spying for all of this army, actually going to take out so much tech. And a lot of these Stalkers. This is so much better than the first game. But, I mean, I guess the Twilight Council acts as like a stepping stone to be able to get your Templar Archives and stuff like that. So I think he's going to want it again at some point, but he needs to now get the Cyber Core again. He's going to go for Robo Bay. And I think Robo Bay is probably a good decision right now, because it kind of... yeah, with your Twilight Council now taken out, I think it's probably the best branch you can go down. Just think about blinking into the main, but actually going to get a scan down and actually going to take out that observer to stop the blink up happening. There's so much bio here. I don't think Classic can really do anything from this position. Classic is going to get Immortals as well as and a few Sentries now to join the army, so you know, going to take up a little bit further before he's going to engage here. But we do have the Medivacs on the way. We do have +1 on the way as well. concussive shells, all that kind of thing. So the power of Cure is actually growing as well. And Cure's looking very good in this game, again. The second time. So Cure now moving out onto the top side of the map, pushing out onto the north to see if he can get anything done. Well, the third base isn't here. The dropout is going to happen again. We're going to see a very similar push to what we saw last game. It's going to be the double medevac into the main, of which there are some units now well prepared for this. One medevac goes down. And the push here isn't even going. Oh no, this is not looking good for Cure actually. Using quite a lot of his army supply to the main base there, but he is actually going to be able to stim onto the third base location. And the army of Classic is so out of position here. He's going to take out a few of those probes. Okay, only 4 going to go down and a pylon or so. But I think that's actually not too bad for Classic as well. Yeah, I'd say this is a good hold for Classic right now. He's actually got 2 Colossi out. He's got to be careful with that Colossi though. You can't push with only 1 Colossi. You need to have both of them together. But actually, it doesn't matter too much. The snipes are going to come out on the medevacs. Classic's doing an excellent job at cleaning up a lot of this army and deflecting it. Whew. So we're going to see warp-ins of Adepts as well on the south side, but you know, or maybe they go into the main very shortly. So we go, Adepts do go in. Try and get a little bit of damage on. They are going to be able to do so, get a couple of FCV cores, a little bit of a scout around. Nothing much else though. The army of Cure looking very scary, just sitting out in the front here, but the War Prism's going to come in again, try and get something done. I don't really know what is going to try and get achieved here. Classic's probably only barely gets away with that War Prism as well. I don't really know what he's trying to achieve. Maybe get a few worker kills, but I don't think Cure is going to be really out of that position. I mean, he has forced out a couple of Vikings, which is actually not bad at all to give you a bit more peace of mind that the War Prism's not there, but oh, we're actually going to see a push out. We got, what, 3 Colossi? A few high energy sentries as well. They're going to miss each other. They're actually going to go for a bit of a base trade by the looks of it. I wonder if someone's going to return home. Classic's now just going to commit to the front. And Cure's the one that's going to decide to come back home here. Massive commitment here for Classic. And there is a little bit of a choke here, actually. Now getting sandwiched in. The blink does go off. Colossi doing quite a lot of damage overall. We have 1 Colossus going down. The other 2 are staying alive. And actually, Classic is now in a great position to win this game. Oh no, Cure just got caught out of position there. And Classic Cure calls GG, and Classic takes game number 2 in this best of 5 series, and we're all tied up. Down on the bottom right side of a Romanticide LE, we are playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is one of the best Terrans in the world. It is Cure. And the top left side of the map, Playing for Alpha X, again, one of the best processors in the world. I do think he's trying to shoot a bit higher overall. I think Cure is probably a bit more favoured in this matchup, but we'll see how it goes. Tying it up 1-for-1 anyway, it is classic. Yeah, if I had to bet on who would win, it would probably be Cure. I do think Cure is probably one of the more go-to Korean players overall, and yeah, what I've seen of him recently has just been really, really good. Although I did see, yeah, it was the classic game the other day I casted. He dominated that matchup in a PvP. I do think Classic's PvP is really good. So shame I haven't got any PvP for you today. Would have liked to cast that. I actually really like casting mirror matches. They're a lot of fun. I think they're a lot of fun, especially ZVZ. I haven't casted ZVZ in forever. Because no one plays Zerg these days, right? Can't even get 2 Zergs in the same room. Yeah, PvP is so good. And yeah, Classic's PvP the other day. Who is he playing? Is it Parting? Something like that. Zerg Jeddrix. Well, if you look at so I don't know, like most of my match histories, and I was watching Temper Jesus last night stream, and like he had only been against like 40 Zergs versus 120 Protoses or something like that this season, and mine looks very similar. I've played against so many more Protoses. It is funny. I like that. I like that we're a rare breed. You know, I'm okay with that. Alright, so we do see the Reaper again for Cure. We do actually see that reactor go down as well. It's going to be a 3-Rex again, probably. So here I am saying that 3-Rex gets dropped in every now and then. And now I think we're seeing 3 3-Rexes in a row. Oh, actually, the command set is coming down quite a lot earlier now, so we do have the 3rd CC. We are seeing the 3-Rex as well. Very interesting build order. The 3-Rex and 3CC. I don't know TVP well enough, but I don't feel like that's normal. I guess if you're focusing purely on minerals, then I guess you can go marines, and then you know you're delaying. Obviously, if you don't spend it on factory and starport, then I guess you can spend it on the command center, right? Don't get that second gas, so you got 3 extra miners on the minerals. So I guess that pays for it. So we can see Robo. We do see Twilight with Blink as well. So again, very, very standard. It seems like Classic's just responding to Cure a lot of the time at the moment. So we'll see where this goes. Yeah, interesting how Classic hasn't built his tech at the front of the base this time, because in the last game we had most of the tech going down here for Classic really early on, and still winning from that position. I'd like to note the first push was very good for Cure, and actually the follow-up didn't do as much. Five racks. We're going up to 5 racks now, and we are on 3cc, but we're going to 5 racks. Look, we've got mules coming down for both sides, well, as in like both coming from here as well. And yeah, having 5 racks means you just get so much production done off of this many production buildings, right? I don't know. This is a way better version of the 3 rags in my opinion. Maybe it's not as safe early on because you skip the bunker and stuff like that, but man, this is pretty greedy, but I like it. I think this is very, very strong. We're going to see Charge and Temple Archives come down here for Classic. They might even meet in the middle of the map here. I mean, these brushes provide such little vision. I feel like Cure could just go wherever he likes. Hey, maybe he's pretending that he's already moved away. I love that. If we just quickly get a vision here for Classic, he can't see any of the army there. I like that. Setting up your own little trap in the bushes. And I love sight blockers. I think they're sick, but they definitely favour Terran, especially when you've got Siege Tanks sitting behind them. Very underrated part of StarCraft, these sight blockers. There's 3x push now going up onto the top side. Taking them all out real quick there. There's a short battery here though, but the bio just comes in on the other side. He's not going to push in and jump straight onto Classic's mineral lines by the looks of it. Look at that, going straight to the main base. Forcing a worker pull off there. The other army does get cleared up. Oh, it's a bit of a parade push as well, wow. A lot of the key units are still up here for Classic. And he's going to force Cure to go to back up here. The thing is that Cure has been going very economic behind this. Getting that 3cc really early, and even trading out so well versus these Stalkers here as well. This is looking very good for Cure, even though his initial attack hasn't been so successful. He's forced a lot of a reaction from Classic, and actually taking out a little bit of economy means he could probably scale ahead in this game. Oh, a bit of an overstim there. Now, we haven't seen any Colossus up yet, any Colossi get built. Which I think is the main deviation here for Classic so far. We do have High Templar out though. We do see EMP being researched by Cure, or at least the radius for EMP being researched. And with the medevacs out, this can now open up the potential of dropping again, going for that push that we saw previously. 2 medevacs in the main base. And then a push on the front, but actually I do think this is a bit later in the game to what the initial push was in the previous games. But don't think we'll be seeing any of that anytime soon, although I would like to get corrected just in case, because +1 has finished. We do see the ghosts as well. I think we're going to wait for that to come out before Cure pushes. Alright, so Classic now just sitting back a little bit, and now we're getting, now having 3 bases full saturation, and I think the thing to look out for is how well these ghosts are now going to be handled, because the EMP radius has now been researched. We have +1 finished up as well. Classic has only just gone about 1/3 of the way through his +1. So this push out is going to be very scary now with the upgrade advantage. We now have EMPs on the way, and I mean we only have a couple of High Templar with this, but I do think Cure is looking scarily ahead right now. And I think that's because of just the early mix of being able to protect himself, as well as being able to have that 3rd base economy online a lot quicker than his opponent. And having the production buildings early on just means that Cure is now so far ahead of his opponent. We are going to see the engagement now. There are a couple of EMPs going out onto that. You can see all the shields are now destroyed here for Classic. Very, very strong push. I say push, counter push, I guess. Something in Korean is now being said. Cure is actually the one to say something. And I'd like to translate that as oof. Big oof. What's up, Maker? What's up? Yeah, it must be a lot. This must be BM right now. Oh dear. Secure is now just healing up his units now, and the medevacs have run out of energy pretty much entirely here, but this is a huge, scary Terran army. And now the upgrades are about even. Oh, I'm trying to throw out an EMP there. And again, just taking out on the Warp Prism, focusing the Warp Prism a little bit on these EMPs. Interesting decision there. Actually, Classic's come back a little bit now in a really nice defensive position. We do have Disruptors as well. This is shaping up to be quite an intense TVP. There's no way I'm discounting Classic from this game yet. Fourth base now up and running, going into a planetary fortress. He's going to push up into the third base. So pretty much everything. All of his army now. No EMP's going off quite yet. There you go. They've got the EMP going down onto a part of that army there. But to be honest, the Protossus here is now pushing back. Cure quite effectively. Warp Prism does go down. Kite back looking very effective. And, well, I mean... Oh no, the medevacs go down as well. Meanwhile, over on the fourth base, we now have that snipe. Very well done by Cure there, just seizing that opportunity. Sends off half his army to go down there. And actually forcing out recall as well. Overall, really well done. Wow, what a game. My own are kiting back a little bit here, but Disruptors now threaten with their forward presence. We also have 3 Immortals on the backline as well. The MP does go off again. But I think all the ghosts have been cleaned up, so unless there are more on the way... there's actually quite a few in this army up here. 4... Oh, yeah, 4 in total up here. See another push up into the third base location of Classic. Oh, massive damage going down there. EMPs do take out those 2 Archons in the front line, but that's so much damage from that storm. Over in the natural as well, you see 11 probes going down, a little bit of damage here. Actually, overall, not massively effective trading here for Cure, but he's mining so much more than his opponent right now. Denying that fourth base has just been massive. If you look at the economy coming in here, it's nearly like, it was 2 times minerals, 3 times gas. And that is just insane economy right there. I don't think he's traded well. I traded about evenly actually, so yeah, actually overall, Terran looking very, very good. Is this Jeddrix casting? What's up, guy in chat? Thanks for joining. We're now in the second best of 5 series. We have Classic versus Cure. It's an insane game. He's actually pushing the planetary here. The MP does go off in the front line, but meanwhile we also have pushing into the third base of Classic. Cure now taking out the third base, doing really well. Fourth base goes down as well as quite a lot of those SCVs. So a bit of a 1-2 punch there. Each player hits each other. The probes are pulled, but there's only 2 bases left here for Classic. This is not looking good at all. And again, we have that base trade situation where, yeah, just similar to last game, except for Cure is now committing to this attack. Cure does have a bit of a bio force down here, and probably going to start grouping up his army up on the top side as well. He takes out pretty much everything here. So now Classic is just left with what he's got. Oh no, what is going on? Now moving up into the main base. Look, everything's going down here for Classic. But he's still pushing out here. And I can't see how Cure's going to clean this up in the main either. Oh no, this is natural base trade. Guys, we have a professional base trade here. Colossi are going to do a lot of damage and kill up. Yeah, I got clear loads of that army. 2 Colossi, 3 Colossi do go down in total. And there's a Viking here just continuing this pressure. So actually quite a lot of key units now going down. There's no way for them to get rebuilt because they're just getting absolutely smacked here. Oh, and Classic's trying to rebuild in the middle of the map. Now pushing down into natural, taking out that orbital plant as well. It looks like we're going to have a return here for Kyo. But look at this. We do have mining going on the 4th base location. And look how close this Nexus is. I feel like these guys can probably see that from there. Like in real life, maybe. They could just look up the hill and be like, whoa. There's a protest there. There you go. Now it's just been scouted. Oh, look, all the probes are here. All the probes are fighting in the main base now. Oh, what is going on? Look how many probes there are. But the production is still up for Cure. He's now still got continuous production on all these reactors, and I feel like that's keeping him in the game right now. Mining's still going down as well. And they are just going to lift up here. Cure now lifting up. Maybe even protect this. Oh, what an insane game. Very, very close. Imps do go down on those probes. All those probes. Pure probe. Poor probes, man. Oh dear. Now Classic still does have quite a nice army overall, but as time goes on, this is looking so much better for Cure. He's still mining. He's still got a little bit of bio here. He needs to push. Classic needs to push right now, and he needs to win. Like, you can't be careful. You just can't be careful. You have to commit. You have no production. You literally have to commit. You have no other option but to win this game right now. Classic, you have to push. You can't be careful. I know it's your only army. Oh, poor probes. Get completely annihilated. And it looks like this is the end for Classic. Oh no. GG's killed. Kyo takes it. What an insane game that was. And yeah, so I mean, so far these series have been a little bit lackluster in my opinion, just like macroing and pushing out. But that last game just made it all worth it. That's exactly what I wanted to cast. They've now base traded each other twice. And that must suck. Like personally, I think that sucks for Terran because you have no way of recalling or anything like that. Like it's really much Protoss's favor in that situation because they get to decide how much army they can send home and stuff like that. And do you guys remember? It wasn't that long ago when the recall had a massive radius, right? And now it's obviously called tactical recall. But fun fact. Obviously, you can group up like a Skytoss army to like one position, and you can recall an entire Skytoss army because air units stack on top of each other, right? Can't do the same with ground units. So sometimes you'll see pro players only recalling half their army, maybe by accident. And yeah, there was a time where I think that it was just so much stronger for Protoss. But these days, they have to be a lot more careful about recalling, and they changed it because. Yeah, Protoss just had so much presence on the map whilst being able to like send out whole armies and then not actually get punished for it. And now that they have such a small radius for recalling, they can actually get punished for moving out their entire army across the map. Just a bit of food for thought there whilst we get warmed up into this game. We're actually going to see the bunker as well go down. And actually we're going to see a completely different build order here for Cure. For the first time in this series, we're going to see a factory put down at about the 2-minute 10 mark. Hey Soundwave, what's happening? Lewis, welcome. Yeah, very standard build order now for Cure for the first time in this series. I do love 3 racks, and I'm glad we got to see so many 3 raxes, but let's switch it up and see what happens. So the adepts are shading out, trying to get a little bit of a look in. Gonna see that it's actually gonna be 1-1-1. Oh, the adepts do shade in and commit to that. But we do have the cyclone now. I was going to come back over here and find the Twilight Council and be like, oh, what a surprise, Twilight Council, but there hasn't been one yet. Actually, Warp Prism going to get produced. Oh, interesting, going for the Warp Prism. And, what, 3-gate? Might be an early Stalker push without Blink. And I guess the reaction is going to be very different here for Classic. Now seeing a 1-1-1. I feel like 1-1-1 just allows the Protoss player to do what they want a little bit more. Gives them a little bit more freedom to actually go into a build order that they want to. And right now it looks like it's going to be quite an early little bit of harassment here for Classic. You also see the Adepts shading out. And here we go, Warp Prism going into the main, dropping the 3 Stalkers there, now 3 more coming in. He's going to move up these Adepts to the high ground as well, by the looks of it. Lock-on is going to go down, there's a lot of Marines here in response. It's going to pull a few SCVs to deal with this. Yeah, the Adepts getting dropped in as well. And Adepts trade out quite well versus Marines. But overall, I think this is a pretty decent hold. I mean, to be fair, quite a lot of SCVs do go down here. But, you know, he's not dead. A lot of those army units do stay alive there. So Cure now losing 8 SCVs in that initial contact there. But, oh no, you gotta be careful with this lock-on. Oh, he tries to use the dead space, but doesn't quite, almost loses it one more hit away, and that would have been a dead Warp Prism there. He's actually going to try and intercept with the Medivacs. Oh, look at this. Look at the trajectory that he's going down right now. Oh, God. No way. No way. Cure, absolute beast, taking out that Warp Prism and a lot of that aggression. So on the back of this, we only have a few units of it here for Classic, but I mean, there's not a lot of units here for Cure either. Reinforcements behind this as well. We do see the Cyclone moving as well. Quite a lot of low HP units, but I guess many of them can be restored health at the moment. So Shield Battery now finishing up as well. Stim has finished, so we do have a little bit more pushing power here for Cure as well. He's going to focus that Shield Battery, but there's so much Protoss here that I don't think he's going to be able to do much else. No 3CC at the moment, and I feel like the third CC being so early last time, so strong. But now we're going to see Cure sit on 2 bases for a lot longer. There it is, just starting up on position. Now boosting into the main base, trying to get a little bit of a drop down. I'm not going to find anything quite yet. Just going for that attack on the high ground production buildings again. There's a massive push being set up here by Cure. Still not mining on the 3rd base quite yet, but maybe you'll be able to get a little bit of damage done. Quite a lot of the army is left here for Classic over in the 3rd, so I don't think actually much can get done. But these Widow Mines now being burrowed. Ooh, it does a lot of damage to those Zealots. So far being really well handled by Classic. I feel like Classic's in a quite good position here. He is an upgrade behind. Interesting how the upgrades have not been prioritized so far. Only just finishing up the first forge at 8 minutes 15. We are seeing that army value swell here for Cure. Now producing off of, well, five racks for a long period of time, but continuously going with the economy. Now on the back with a +1 upgrade. I feel like this is going to be a very scary push. There's not a lot here. Oh, I say that. There's another army over there, so... I don't know. I feel like Classic's in a good position to hold this. Massive storm coming down, doing a lot of damage, actually. Yeah, Storm's connecting very nicely there for Classic. But the resupply is just massive. I don't know how Terrans do this. They sit on a lower base count for a lot longer and they just keep pumping out units and they look scary, man. But this is even against a Storm, right? Storm, Archon, Immortal. Like, this is not an under-powered, like, composition at all. I don't think he's got... I mean, if Cure decides to drop and gets successfully dropped in, I don't think that's enough for the Classic to hold that, but yeah, he's playing a lot of pressure right now. Scan goes into the main base to see if there's anything here for Classic, and now we do have a little bit of engagement, but there's just so much Protoss here. The Storm does go down. Wouldn't mind gets connection, but not a lot else. Now we do have EMPs on the way again. I feel like that's going to be the name of the game here for Cure. We've seen it before, and we're going to see it again. I wonder if Classic decides that now is the time to push. There's so many Zealots here. Quite a beefy army overall, and I don't think there's that many Widow Mines. Yeah, there are not that many Widow Mines here for Cure, so I feel like this is quite a good decision. I'm not sure about this position though, coming up a choke point like that. Yeah, a lot of that front line gets taken out before the engagement actually happens. EMPs do go down, and now a bit of a flank here. It means that, yeah, the concave here for Cure means that the Storms are not nearly as effective as they can be. And almost the entire army of Classic is now murdered. Like, that's it. That is such a good trade for Cure. Yeah, trading nearly twice over his opponent right now. That's just insane. The Cure's is now going to push into the front. We now have the 4th base up and running, but oh, Disruptors, here we go. 2 Disruptors are now on the field, and I feel like Disruptor's going to be a comeback unit, especially to deal with these ghosts as well. So after getting that single Widow Mine there, it gets blown off into the distance. Oh, another bit of a miss there. Disruptor's not finding the connections, and that 4th base is going to go down. Cure now just a slight bit away from winning this series. Is now quite a lot up on his opponent right now. Reducing his base count back down to 4 now means that Cure is in a really good position to scale out his economy a little bit better now. I feel like Cure's has been constantly active on the map, keeping up the pressure, keeping Classic in place. And Classic's had good armies, just they haven't been trading nearly as effectively as he probably wants them to. And overall, that's been a little bit of an issue for him. Massive splits there for Cure. Really well handled. He's having to split a lot though. I mean, there's so many disruptors on the field right now. A bit of engagement here and massive EMPs. Classic is really on the ropes right now. Trying to drop into the main base, but there is actually an army here to respond to that. Cure is in such control of this game now. Armies to the left and right, and now coming down the center. 3 armies, massive storms though. Oh, I feel like it must be so hard to play as Protoss in these kind of situations where you have to deal with these EMPs. Massive push onto the front base now. And the right side is still in a bit of an engagement, but so much of the army is now tied up on the right side of the map. Actually, not bad for Classic overall. You know, a lot of this army stays up, but you know, for what was committed just then, not too bad. But yeah, moving over to here to try and deal with this push means that this army is now available to push onto the 4th base, now denying it. And just basically eking out some really efficient trades and keeping the economy really low of Classic means that Cure is able to come up way further ahead. Like, this is just insane. Mining nearly twice the amount of his opponent. Oh, and all the disruptors go down. Every single disruptor goes down. The fight is one on the left, but over on the right, a lot of those key units are now taken out. GG's cool. Cure takes the series quite convincingly, I would say. 3-1.